The Joe Pag Show will start in 5 minutes. The Joe Pag Show will start in 4 minutes.
All right, let's do that thing.
The Joe Pag Show will start in 3 minutes. The Joe Pag Show will start in 2 minutes.
What's going on, people? Good to see everybody on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Rumble. Let's go.
The Joe Pag Show will start in 1 minute.
All right, level 2 hype train. Let's go. With 26 viewers, it's a pretty good hype train for 26 viewers.
No camera today?
Say it again? Oh,
No camera today?
no, Cameron.
Pags Show. To talk to Joe, call 888-941-PAGS. And now, it's Joe Pags.
All right, glad to have you. Thanks. Hopefully you're having a very good Monday. It's the Joe Pags Show. Glad to have you along for the ride, along with CJ in for Sam, and Polo's getting it done as well. I am going to be your talk show host for the remainder of the program, the Joe Pags Show for a Monday, the post-Super Bowl Sunday Monday, which is interesting. Didn't watch any football all year, as you know. I didn't realize they changed the rules of NFL football. I'm being dead serious about this. Now, Polo, you've been watching football the entire time, right? You never stopped watching football, right?
Right.
I mean, so when did they institute these weird changes? On the kickoff, it looks like they're kicking off from a further yard line towards the opposing end zone, and nobody gets to do anything until the guy catches the ball. What is that?
I don't think it's further. I think they moved everybody closer, so there's less hard contact.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody on either team appears to be doing anything until the guy catches the ball.
Right.
Why?
To protect the players from.
Screw that, dude. You're playing football. You should be able to get tackled. No, I don't understand. You like can't move. I was like, why aren't they moving?
Yeah, the only time that they can, if I remember correctly, is when they have to let the referees know that they're going to try an onside kick, so then they can set up the old way. But other than that, we have to listen. We have to get into some of these rules because I don't get it. We'll do that in a second. Of course, I don't want to bury the lead. The top story is that it's my wife Jenny's birthday. It's the I'm not going to say how many year anniversary of her 25th birthday. Doesn't look a day over 30. So happy birthday, Jenny. They're already CJ. They're doing the birthday party now without us. By the way,
happy birthday, Mom.
I mean, what is that? They're just like they're in there enjoying, hooting it up. I think they're all drunk. Maybe they're not drunk. Okay. They're probably not drunk. But there are a lot of snacks, a lot of fun, and happy birthday. Hopefully you're having a great day. I think it's been a pretty good day so far, and it'll be a great night as well as we go and enjoy and have the cake and all that stuff. So very happy birthday to Jenny. So we're watching the game. And you guys now know that I legitimately have not been watching any NFL football because I would have known about these changes. It also appears that they don't want anybody to run a kickoff back. Polo, every single kick appears to go through either through the end of the end zone or all the way to. Do they not want any run backs on kickoffs anymore?
No, I mean, probably ideally no, but some do, and some did last night. It just depends because I mean, if the kicker kicks it all the way in, or past the end zone, then they can't.
And then they get the ball at the 30, not the 20?
Right.
Dude, do they want more scoring? Is that what's going on? Why would you give them the ball at the 30? That's ridiculous. It makes for a short field.
I think it was and I don't know when they set all this stuff up. Maybe I'm assuming that it was like a compromise. Like, look, because of this, we'll do this. So, and I want to say that some of this stuff they took from the XFL/USFL, I guess now it's called the UFL.
Yeah, UFL.
They had seen some of those things work over there pretty well, so they borrowed some of those things. So I mean, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, would it be cool like if somebody breaks away? I mean, they still can. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's just another way for them to protect the players.
Well, it takes the incentive away to try to run it out, right? Because if you run it out and get to the 20, you just lost 10 yards.
Right. So that's why if you're going to do that, then you need to know that, you can at least get it to the 30.
Wow. So. And one other rule that I was blown away by, because as most people know, Philadelphia won. And if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, God bless you. Congratulations. I didn't care who won. But after winning 2 Super Bowls in a row, I've never seen a team play as badly as the Chiefs have, or as the Chiefs did. But in watching the game, they're down by, 30 points or something in the third quarter. And the announcer says you're not allowed to onside kick it until the fourth quarter. Come on. You should be able to onside kick it in the opening kickoff if you want to. When did that rule start?
I missed that one.
Oh, yeah. You cannot do an onside kick till the fourth quarter. I kid you not. That was announced in the game.
Oh, I guess I missed that one. I do know that if you're going to onside kick it, you have to announce it because then they line up differently. So that takes. So
you can't even trick them. You can't even trick them and act like you're going to kick it far and then kick it short. No. You can't do that anymore. You have to tell somebody.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. What happened to football?
That's what it is.
And now, were there any commercials that you cared about? There wasn't a commercial where I went, "Wow, that's amazing."
And not because I have one, but the Jeep one was pretty interesting with Harrison Ford.
Best commercial of the game. I agree with you.
Because especially when he looked at the camera and he said, "Even though my name's Ford,"
right? No, that was amazing.
Whisper,
and he also said that. He also said that actors aren't heroes. I thought that was amazing. He was holding up the veterans up on high. That was a very, very good commercial. I didn't think there was a funny one at all. Nothing made me laugh.
I missed the Duncan one. I only saw like the end of it, the one with Ben Affleck.
I thought it was ridiculous. The Duncan one I thought was stupid. CJ, you watched the game?
I did.
Now, the one thing that you noticed, because you texted me immediately, was the GNX in the halftime show. It looked just like a Grand National, which is basically what it is. I was telling Polo before the show started. For those that don't know, I'm a big GM guy. I'm a big turbocharged. Those cars in the mid '80s, late '80s. I've got one. I don't have a GNX because that's like $200,000. But the Grand National in '87 was the hot ticket. It actually had more horsepower than the Corvette. And what Buick did was they had 547 of them sent off to an aftermarket shop that hopped them up and made them GNXs. Well, in that, I didn't. Polo told me this before. I didn't know this before as I was watching it before the show tonight. He told me the name of that song is GNX. I guess.
Yeah, the little piece, because he was doing a bunch of different songs, and I guess like from what I read online anyway, that I guess that song is called GNX. So. CJ,
did you know it was a Grand National? Well, you knew it was a Grand National, but do you know it was a GNX or not?
I did not know.
But that's pretty much the same thing. It's the same exact body, the engine's just hopped up a little bit. The turbocharger had a ceramic, spinner inside instead of a metal one. I mean, they gave it some extra horsepower and changed the car a little bit. There were many more upgrades than that. But what a nice car. When I saw it, I was like, wow, that's awesome. But then, I was mad. CJ, you know why Dad was mad, right?
No, why were you mad?
He was standing on the hood.
Oh, yeah.
Get the hell off the hood.
Right away.
What's the matter with you? Polo, come on.
I thought that right away when I saw that. I was like, man, I bet Joe is so upset right now. I was like, at least he's wearing tennis shoes. He's not wearing anything that would and for a second I thought that they had to put something on the hood, but then I realized it was that hood scoop that they had on there. So that's what it was. And he was like really close to the edge of like stepping on that. And I was like, oh man. I was like, I can imagine Joe just looking at that like,
oh yeah. I was like really happy. And I was like, get off the hood. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm not being stupid. I like rap. I can understand. I think Harry Mack, if those of you who watch him freestyle rap on social media, is amazing. I think that come on. I was a kid when the original Rapper's Delight showed up. I like rap music. I couldn't understand what the guy was saying. The only thing I could understand him saying was 40 acres and a mule. That's all I understood. But then later, they were like, he was reiterating how bad the music industry is and that we're not like them and that we're the good guys and they're the bad guys. So I guess it turns out his message was better than I thought. But I mean, Polo, you're familiar with Kendrick Lamar. You're a DJ. Is it usual that you can't understand what he's saying?
Kind of. I mean,
I literally couldn't.
I mean, there's people who call it like mumble rap. I don't know. I mean, there's certain songs of his that I've heard that I've kind of liked, but I for whatever reason it was hard for me to understand him last night. And then when I see some of maybe because when I saw some replays, I could hear it perfectly.
Oh, that's
so I don't know. Maybe if it was my TV, if it was the streaming service I was using.
No.
Yeah, because then when I've seen other clips, like it sounds perfect. I was like, well, if it sounded like that, it would have been easier to understand what he was saying. Yeah. But when I was watching it, it just I was struggling to like understand what he was saying. Like I almost wanted to turn the captions on to see because I knew that he was going to be saying stuff that was probably controversial, stuff that was towards like Drake and all that stuff that was going on.
Allegedly, that it was towards Drake. It was.
Yeah. So I was curious to see or hear what he had to say. But I struggled with that, so it was like, okay, Yeah, it was interesting. CJ, are you a fan of Kendrick Lamar? I don't know if you listen to him or not.
No, not really.
Did you know what he was saying?
I mean, I picked up a few key phrases, but no, I mean, I wasn't paying, I guess, that close of attention.
Yeah. No, I mean, I watched it closely because I was all ready to pounce. You have some stupid messaging in this, I'm going to be angry. Now, I will say this. If you're a rap fan, you probably really enjoyed that halftime show. And by the way, it's not a sports show. If you're just joining the show, we're not going to break down the X's and O's. I don't really care. Yay, Eagles. Way to go. But if you're a rap fan, maybe you got that. But I don't know why you wouldn't have mixed in some music as well. Many times lately, anyway, in the Super Bowl halftime shows, they'll have somebody will walk out and do his thing, and then you got some woman shows up and does her thing, and then somebody comes out and dances a thing. Then maybe somebody raps. It was just sort of 15 minutes of Kendrick Lamar rapping and walking around the stage, and people wearing either black or white outfits that were doing a dance. Polo, is that something? I mean, wouldn't it be usual that you have like an assortment of artists? Is it normally just a rap guy?
Lately it hasn't been. I mean, even when they did the one I thought that was really good with Dr. Dre. I mean, he had 50 Cent.
Right.
I think he had Eminem. I think he was on there. And then they had Mary J. Blige and Snoop Dogg. So they had like that mixture. But I mean, I guess for this, I mean, it was supposed to be, I guess, about him. And I mean, to his credit, I mean, I don't think he did horribly, but I know when
he did
J-Lo,
what he does. I think he did fine.
Yeah,
he did what he does.
Yeah, and when J-Lo did what she did with Shakira, there were some people that were kind of upset because I guess they felt like she took away, I guess, Shakira's opportunity, since they had to share it. But
I thought J-Lo got the opportunity and then included Shakira. I thought she actually did her a solid. I could be wrong about that. I don't think they offered it to Shakira. I thought they gave it to J-Lo. And she said, hey, Shakira, you should do it with me.
I guess maybe people thought that musically that Shakira was the bigger star than J-Lo.
Well, she is. That's true.
I
mean, I don't think J-Lo sings most of her stuff, to be honest. But that's another story for another day. So watching it, I just think that if you want to grab the largest television crowd of the year, maybe you do more than just one genre. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you throw somebody up there and rock out for a couple of minutes, and then he comes back and does more. It was just him marching around the stage for 15 minutes. I didn't get it. After a while, he sort of lost me. And I think the acoustics played into that because I couldn't understand a word he said. I just didn't understand what he was saying. So maybe that would have helped out. All right, if you have thoughts on the Super Bowl, fine. I don't want to hear X's and O's. The rule changes, I think, are dumb. I think it wusses it down a little bit, but what do I know? But if there was a favorite commercial, we'll listen to you. I'm going to get into what President Trump said on the way. He was on Air Force One and that he flew over a certain body of water and he called it something interesting. So we're going to have that for you, certainly. A dumb question from a reporter on Air Force One. And then, of course, he sat down with Brett Baer before the game. Before we hit the break here, I want to welcome, I believe we're back. I'm pretty sure we were on before on WBFD in Bedford, Pennsylvania. Really, really love that we're back on. Welcome to the program. We're going to be on there Monday through Friday every night. We're adding stations like crazy. We absolutely love being back on in Bedford. So again, if you're hearing us and you haven't heard us in a while, shoot me a note. Love to hear from you. JoePags.com. Scroll down. Click on Contact. Very proud to be back on WBFD in Bedford, Pennsylvania. Welcome back to the Joe Pags Show, and thanks for welcoming us back as well. We love being back on there. Let me tell you about Lean. If you're a yo-yo dieter, I have taken that route before, by the way. I've done that before. You lose weight, then you gain it all back, and then a few extra pounds. Then later you lose it again, you gain it all back, a few extra pounds. It's not good for you. Could cause health problems. Maybe it raises your risk of heart attack. We know that. Stroke, type 2 diabetes as well. Break free of that yo-yo diet plan and get Lean right now. Lean is a supplement. It's not an injection. You don't need a prescription. The science behind Lean is impressive. It's studied natural ingredients, target weight loss in 3 powerful ways. It helps maintain healthy blood sugar. It helps to control appetite and cravings. And it helps burn fat by converting fat into energy. So if you're tired of losing weight, gaining it all back and then some, if you want to lose meaningful weight at a healthy pace too, Lean was created just for you. Let me get you started right now. 20% off when you go to takelean.com, enter code PAGS20. PAGS20. That's takelean.com. It's PAGS20, and we're back after this. Stay here.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
Claire.
What's happening, people? I appreciate that early hype train. Thank you. 100 bits from Brad. Ruth with the Prime, thank you for the 45 months, Ruth. Appreciate that. And for some reason, I can't see all the other stuff, but those of you who gave bits and subs and all that stuff, Tilden, 500, Brad, 300, Cheryl, Kalamazoo, 500, it appears. For some reason, I can't go back far enough. I used to be able to. If you're on YouTube, we do super chats. We also do memberships and gift memberships. That's the way that you can support on YouTube. We can't do a revenue stream there because they demonetize the video. They think that I don't have the right to play the music that we play. And over on Rumble, Rumble Rants, and also subs and gift subs. Let's go.
You know, one thing I was impressed with,
What?
as far as I could tell, they never had to bleep him.
That is true. Yeah, I don't know what the hidden meeting was behind the halftime show, and I don't honestly care. I don't know what the hidden meeting was. I've already spent more time on the game than I thought I would. Glad to have you. Thanks. It's the Joe Pag Show for your Monday. We're going to break down President Trump flying over the Gulf of America. We're going to have that. Also, a dumb question from a reporter. Can you believe it? A dumb question from a reporter. That's crazy. We've got that for you as well. Plus, his sit down with Brett Baer over on Fox. We'll play some excerpts from that. And the left keeps on freaking out because they don't want you and I to know what our money is going to. They don't want you and I, who can be audited at any time by the IRS, to see an audit of the federal government. And it's every argument they make makes them sound even dumber. I hope they keep on making the arguments. I'll be honest with you. 833-JOE-PAGS, 833-563-7247, or joepags.com. Definitely want to hear from you. Polo made a comment during the break that as far as you could tell, Kendrick Lamar didn't get bleeped, and you're right. There was no bleeping. There was no censoring. I don't think he said anything that could have been. Now, does he normally? Because, again, I don't listen to him. Does he normally curse?
Yes.
Okay, see, I wouldn't know that. So, yeah, I mean, again, if you're a fan of his and if you're a fan of hip-hop or rap, you probably loved it. I'm not necessarily somebody who my go-to is going to be that. I'm more of a jazz guy. You're not going to have a jazz guy out there. But do some pop music that I think would have a wider swath of fans enjoying it. I would think throw something in there to break it up, and then have him continue. I just don't know why you do. I don't know what the thought process was by the NFL and by Fox or whoever decides these things. Let's have one guy do one thing for 15 minutes. I just found that to be a little bit odd. But what do I know? Let me go to the phone lines. AJ,
big time Motown Joe Pags.
talk to me.
Hey, we got a bad connection or something, man.
You sound good to me.
It is, but it's on this end, I think, Motown.
You want to call back? Or you all right?
Don't worry about it. No, we good.
All right, let's go.
Shake and bake. Hey, Motown. What now? That halftime deal. What was he talking about?
I don't know.
Samuel. What was all that about?
I don't know what he was talking about. Apparently, there's some hidden meaning, and he went after Drake or some other music industry people. I know that he said 40 acres and a mule at one point. I don't know what he was talking about because I honestly couldn't understand him.
I couldn't either, Motown. I couldn't either. But, Motown, I got to ask you, why is the Democrats got the banana up their tailpipe worrying about why Trump wants to...
AJ,
I'm being nice.
You use it in a different way every time. I just think it's hilarious. Now they have a banana up their tailpipe. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but why is it that they are mad that Trump trying to find out where our money is going after all these presidents? What is the problem with the Democrats?
Oh, come on.
Maybe it's because they the ones that did it, and they claiming he did it like they did it last 4 years, of blaming him for what they did.
Right.
What is it?
I think that could be it. Now, AJ, the problem is we're going to find out how they almost sold us out completely to the deep state. We're going to find out how they try to dismantle this country from within, and they are freaking out. You know what my favorite part is, AJ? They don't know what to do. They were caught off guard. They weren't ready for this.
That's for sure. And now, as Paul Harvey say, now we know the rest of the story on what they did and why they tried to stop Trump. Because this was going to come out, and they knew Trump was going to get it this time. So this is why we going through what we're going through. We need the confirmations of all the people. We need them to come on.
Yes.
They dragging their feet on that, and I said feet.
Did you say feet? You said feet, didn't you? Come on, man. Come on.
Come on, Motown. hey, real quick. Hey, but the thing of it is, an idiot ran across the field with a flag.
I saw that.
What the world? We need to show and get these people, get them know that we will prosecute if they do dumb crap. It's called deterrence.
Yes.
That's what death penalty was, deterrence.
Yes.
We ain't saying we execute, but stop these people from doing dumb stuff like they did in L.A., blocking traffic. It's time to put it down. I hope Pam Bundy, she start making laws where we can. And wait, telling Trump that he can't do this?
Right.
Where did they get off on this after what they did to get us in this mess? Come on, Motown.
AJ.
Talk to her.
We'll have Bondi on eventually. AJ, you're the best. We got to run here. You're the best, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Man.
Love you too. That was amazing. Yeah, your feet and bananas up the tailpipe. But he's right on. I mean, they are scared to death about what's going to happen once all this stuff is uncovered. So they will lie, cheat, and steal to stop it. Keep it here. Coming back on the Joe Pags Show.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
Clear.
Let's have a people commercial break. I will be back. I didn't understand your shorthand. Got it. My pleasure to have you here. I appreciate you stopping by. It'll be Representative Harriet Hageman next hour from the great state of Wyoming. The only representative from Wyoming. She's on the anti-woke committee and a whole lot of other stuff in Congress. You're going to love what she has to say about DOGE, about USAID, about Department of Education, just finding out exactly where our money goes. It is so interesting to me that parts of this government, 50% of it basically, really doesn't think that we deserve to know where our money's being spent. Isn't that something? And I've been complaining about this for years. Yes, I will pat myself in the back. We've been way ahead of this for years when it comes to our property taxes going to pay for schools and a curriculum that we have no say-so. When our tax dollars go to support a school board, but you can't go and speak at the school board. When our tax dollars go to USAID, and most people had never heard of it before. All of that is not okay. None of that is okay. So at the end of the day, we should find out where our money goes. And then we can make a better decision about whether we want to continue to go to there, to whatever that entity happens to be. So Harriet Hageman, about an hour from now, make sure you stick around. Got a lot to say about what's going on with the financing and funding at USAID and a whole lot more. Also, we're going to have Kay Smythe-Hill on this program as well. We break down exactly, what we're seeing out of USAID. Also, should we be paying for Medicaid or other entitlements if the person doesn't have a job? That's something that's being pushed in Arkansas right now, and we'll see if that has any legs. Make sure you stick around for that in hour number 3. Some phone calls coming in. We'll take a few calls here. We'll get to President Trump announcing the new body of water, the new name of the body of water. And I guess if you go to Google now, it shows this name over this body of water. We'll have that for you coming up. We go to Joe in Minnesota. Joe, what's on your mind? Hi.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the executive orders. How many has he done this year?
Oh, I don't know, a lot. Probably a couple of hundred, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so the first time he was in, he did what, one or none?
No, he did a lot of them. He did a lot in the first time. He closed the border with executive orders the first time he was in. A lot.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. And then Biden came in. And
he did 94 in the first day.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he redid a lot of them, right?
Well, he undid a lot of them, yeah.
Well, yeah, undid them.
Right.
And now Trump is back to redoing them again.
Yes.
And undoing them again or whatever.
Yes.
Right. So what's to stop the next guy from coming in to undo them again?
Great question. I'm going to answer that question, Joe. It's a great one. It is. Thank you for calling from Minnesota. His point was very simple. Trump came in, did executive orders, closed the border, did a bunch of stuff, added tariffs, said, let's go drill, blah, blah, blah. Did all of the conservative stuff. Let's do the Keystone XL pipeline, the whole thing. And then Biden comes in and undoes everything. 94 executive actions in the first couple of days just to open the border, to stop the drilling, to stop the pipeline, to go anti-America, whereas Trump was pro-America. Then Trump comes back in, does a bunch of executive orders. Okay, let's go drill again, and let's close the border again, and let's make America great again, and let's do all this. So the question is very simple. What's to stop the next guy from undoing all of this? Nothing. That's why, along with saying we're going to do executive orders to get this done, we must codify it in law. What happens then is the House and Senate come up with a bill they can agree to, send it to the president, he signs it. It is much harder to undo a law than it is an executive action. So what we see happening on the border, what's working on the border, has to be codified in law. They tried to do that with H.R. 2 in the Biden administration. Then, of course, Biden was never going to sign it, and it didn't get enough support in the Senate. It passed the House, but it died in the Senate. Well, now you've got the House, you've got the Senate, you got the presidency. You can codify stay in Mexico, codify close the border, codify only 100 people a day can come across, something like that instead of 5,000. You can do that in law, and then it forces them to undo the law. That's a much harder proposition, or pass a law that supersedes it. See what I'm saying? I think you do. So that's how you do it. Joe, great question, truly, because any executive action that happens can be undone by the next guy. And to avoid that, you pass it into law. Let me go back at it. Let me say hello to Matt in Florida. Matt, what's going on? Hi.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
Living the dream, man. Talk to me.
Happy birthday to your wife.
Thank you.
Yes. So the Democrats are up in arms over DOGE and all of that's being uncovered, but you don't hear any of them saying anything or opposing that any of that money was actually spent on those things.
Right. No, they're not. They have not come out and said, we really want Sesame Street in Baghdad. They haven't said that. They aren't arguing the numbers. They just don't want us to see them.
Yeah, they haven't said it didn't happen or the money wasn't spent on that.
Exactly right. No, great point. Perfect point, in fact. Great point. At the end of the day, they're not coming out and saying we need that money for Sesame Street in Baghdad because we need that money for woke policies in DEI in Serbia because we need that money to the BBC to understand Libyan ancestry because they haven't said why we need the money that's there. They've just said that we shouldn't be allowed to see it. In fact, they're saying Elon Musk shouldn't be allowed to see it, but you know that Elon Musk is not working for himself. He's working for us. They're in essence saying we shouldn't see it, but they want to turn us against Musk. And as much as I don't think he's doing a great job with Twitter, I'll be honest with you because there's still a lot of censorship there. You can post anything you want, but people don't see it. I am fully in support of him as the DOGE guy because in that position, he's only trying to shine a bright light on the money that's being spent for no reason, and I like it. Let me go to President Trump flying over the newly minted Gulf of America yesterday.
And we're flying right over it right now. So we thought this would be appropriate. Even bigger than the Super Bowl. This is a big thing.
Bigger.
And almost everybody now has assented to that.
Attention on board. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please direct your attention out the right side of the aircraft. Air Force One is currently in international waters, for the first time in history, flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America.
Yes.
Please enjoy the flight, and we are now about to head westbound to SuperBowl 59.
Wow, he did that well.
Now, his staff is clapping, but not one reporter is clapping. Nobody in the gaggle is clapping because they don't want it to be the Gulf of America, I'm sure.
Make America great again, right? That's what we care about. Okay, here we go.
Now he's signing the executive order, or is that? I don't think this is an order. This is a presidential memo or something. About it being the Gulf of America.
So this is a famous pen now.
By the way, they've already called Google. They've called all the map companies. And if you go to Google Maps, I'm pretty sure it now says the Gulf of America. And why shouldn't it? I don't see what the downside is. What exactly is the downside to that? Why can't you love America? Why can't you love the country? Why can't you love the fact that it's North, Central, and South America? They're all named America. It's actually kind of simple. I'm sure Mexico won't be happy with it, but you'll be okay. This, by the way, if you're on the left and you hate the term Gulf of America, hello, it's more inclusive, isn't it? I think so. 833-JOE-PAGS, 833-563-7247, joepags.com. Let me give you this. It's a stupid question from a stupid reporter. There was a ruling over the weekend, or a ruling might have been Friday, probably Saturday, might have been Friday, where a judge said that the Treasury Secretary shouldn't have access to Treasury data. I kid you not. And that DOGE shouldn't have access to Treasury data and payments. Now, that's going to be overturned, clearly. But over the weekend, J.D. Vance, the vice president, said no judge can tell the executive that they can't do their lawful constitutional duties. Well, the left has taken that to mean that J.D. Vance doesn't want to listen to courts and he wants to be a dictator or something, which, of course, it didn't happen. So the Huffington Post reporter asks something dumb. Actually, that is audio for those of you listening. That's audio. I don't even think I took the HuffPost guy. Maybe I didn't even take that video. But that was audio of President Trump being applauded. The left wants you to think he got booed at the Super Bowl yesterday. I mean, not bad. They showed him on the big screen, got massive applause. They showed Taylor Swift on the big screen, and she got booed. She actually reacted to it. Like her face reacted to it. She was like not very happy about that, which I get it. I don't think I'd be very happy about it either if I got booed, but I think she probably deserved to get booed. I don't know. Let me see if I can find that. I might not have pulled, maybe I didn't pull that because it was such a stupid question. There's actually a chance that I didn't because of how dumb it was. This may be it. Let's see. Yeah, it is. This is Trump. He's looking at the guy, for those of you listening, he's looking at the guy like squinting a little bit going, what? What are you talking about? And he just lets him have it.
The Vice President suggested that if the Supreme Court rules in a way that you don't like, they can just enforce it by themselves. Do you agree with that?
Now, the question's BS. The Vice President suggested that if the Supreme Court ruled in a way that you didn't like, that you'd just ignore the ruling. Now, the Supreme Court has not gotten this case. They haven't heard about the case. And J.D. Vance did not mention the Supreme Court whatsoever. He was talking about this rogue Obama judge that said that you can't do DOGE and the Treasury Secretary has no access. So it's already a completely lie-filled, specious question. So Trump responds.
I don't know even what you're talking about. Neither do you.
I don't even know even what you're talking about, and neither do you. And then he asked the guy where he's from.
Who are you with?
HuffPost, sir.
Who?
HuffPost.
Oh, no wonder. I thought they died. Are they still around? I haven't read them in years. I thought they died. All right, go ahead. Who else?
He says HuffPost, sir. HuffPo, Huffington Post. Yeah, I thought they died. I haven't read them in years. I thought they died. Just a dumb question, loaded question, lie-filled question, because this hasn't gone to the Supreme Court. J.D. Vance did not say anything about the Supreme Court. He was talking about the rogue Obama judge that made a stupid ruling the other day that's not going to stand. And either that reporter knows it and asked the question anyway, knowing that it was filled with lies, or he doesn't know it. And if he doesn't know it, he should not be on Air Force One as part of a gaggle of reporters that have access to the president. Now, one thing that I'll mention, and this is important, and I mentioned it last week a lot and the week before too. Joe Biden never did this. He walked out once that I can remember and answered a couple of questions, and then Karine Jean-Pierre basically and Annie Blinken basically pulled him away. He did it maybe once. Trump's sitting there at a desk. All the reporters are surrounding him. Asked him questions I watched the whole thing yesterday for like 28 or 29 minutes. Answering questions like crazy. Everywhere he's on the tarmac, answering questions. At the Super Bowl, answering questions. Out on the lawn before he gets over on Marine One, answering questions. In the Oval Office, signing documents, answering questions. We have more access, and the media should admit this and should applaud this, than we've had in 4+ years. And this is the way it should be. He's answerable to us, and he knows that. So he's answering to us through them. Unfortunately, it's a bunch of loaded so-called reporters and non-journalists that are in there that are asking dumb questions. Thankfully, he's pulling in other people, podcasters, radio talk show hosts. He's pulling in other people to answer, to ask these questions, and he's getting good answers as well. By the way, I did not apply for a credential. I will not be applying for a credential. I went to the White House the first time he was president because I was invited. And hopefully I'll be invited again, and we'll interview him at some point as well. But those seats should really be for the new sort of age of it, which are these people that just do podcasts and have a very big audience. I think that would be great. So your thoughts on what he just said, definitely want to hear from you. It's 833-563-7247, 833-JOE-PAGS, or joepags.com. Scroll down and click on Contact. I definitely want to hear from you. I'm going to have some more audio from him. He sat down with Brett Baer for the presidential interview that didn't get done for 4 years in the Super Bowl when Joe Biden was in there. Well, Trump brings it back, and he does it. I thought he did a great job with it. We'll bring you some of that, get your thoughts on it as well. And the overriding question has to be, are you okay as a taxpayer? I don't care if you're a Democrat liberal, a Republican conservative, a libertarian, a Green Party. Are you okay with central government telling you, and all the lefties in the House and Senate are telling you this, are you okay with them telling you it's none of your business where your billions are being spent? It's none of your business how USAID does business. None of your business how the Department of Education does business. If you're okay with that, just say so. I'm betting you're not. If you're a truth teller, if you're not a liar, if you're not a liar, then you will tell the truth and you will say, yeah, I'm not a big Trump fan, but I am a fan of finding out where my money goes. Because anybody running a budget at your own house knows you can't just have money going out the back door and nobody's allowed to ask why. That would just be dumb. 833-JOE-PAGS, joepags.com. Scroll down, click on contact. Love to hear from you. Make sure you stop by social media. I gave you a bunch of videos over the weekend on social media. Don't miss out on those either. Let me tell you about My Patriot Supply in the meantime. Do you sleep well at night? Real peace of mind comes from knowing that your family is prepared no matter how tough the times get. My Patriot Supply, America's most trusted name in emergency preparedness, is offering a limited time discount on their supersized mega 3-month emergency food kit. It's not your typical survival food. Each kit provides over 2,500 calories every day for 90 days. I don't know how you beat that. We're talking about quality meals that last up to 25 years. In storage, we've got plenty of these. They still taste like home cooked. The pandemic taught us how quickly our store shelves can become absolutely barren. Don't wait for the next crisis. Your mega emergency food kit includes free shipping, a disaster replacement warranty, and 24/7 USA-based support. This special discount is available only this week by going to the website they made for you because you listen to or watch my program, preparewithjoe.com. Secure your family's future with a $250 discount right now. Preparewithjoe.com. Get it done. If you order by 3 p.m., they're going to ship your order within the same day. So you've got peace of mind right away. Preparewithjoe.com. And we're back after this. Stay here.
You're listening to Joe Pags.
Clear.
All right, Lynn, I'll check it out. Thanks. Pretty good, CJ. Thanks, Dano. Got it, Lynn. Thanks. My pleasure to have you. Thanks. It's going to be Representative Harriet Hageman next hour from Wyoming. She's going to break down the anti-woke committee she's on. She's also on the Judiciary Committee. She's also out there saying, yes, we should all find out exactly where our money's going. I don't know why that's such a hard thing, a hard concept to understand. I truly don't believe the Democrats were ready for this. Trump came in, breakneck speed. It's only been 3 weeks, and he's already completely overturned the apple cart, which is great. You have to sometimes. Sometimes you have to. And he's done that like crazy, and he's done it to our benefit. It's not like he's doing something to benefit the central government, not like he's doing something to benefit himself. He's doing it to benefit our knowledge, our education on exactly where our money goes. The government's been siphoning our money just without any accountability for a very long time. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, just tell us where the money's going, man. Nothing wrong with that. 833-JOE-PAGS. 833-563-7247. JoePags.com. Let me go to Dustin in Minnesota. Dustin, what's going on? Hi.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
I'm living the dream, man.
It's good to talk to you.
Thank you.
love listening to the show.
Thank you.
I just wanted to put your mind at ease about the Grand National.
Yeah.
So there was a box underneath of the car, and then like 15 people jumped out of that car. There's no way that it was a real car. It was just a prop.
Well, the body looked exactly perfect for a GNX, but you're right. They didn't show the engine.
Absolutely.
But I mean, even if it were just like a normal hood on a shell of a car, I mean, if he would have stepped on that bulge, I think it would have pushed it straight through, like Polo was saying. I would have been very unhappy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But brother, I got to go. We had the end music hit us in the ears. We got to go. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people came out of that car who probably should not have been able to come out of the car. And at the end of the day, it wasn't a real one. But still, the imagery of it alone gave me a stomachache. Well, when Ted Nugent starts playing, you just shut up, I guess. That's going to do it for this hour. We come back next hour. We're going to break down some of what Brett Baer had to say with President Trump yesterday and a whole lot more. Keep it here.
Joe Pags.
Clear.
Got to figure out how to put that on a different pot. You let him go see.
Hey everyone on the phone lines, it's going to be a bit before we can get to you, so I'm going to have to let you go. Please keep on listening and call back soon.
Nailed it. I'll be back.
The Joe Pag Show will start in 5 minutes. The Joe Pag Show will start in 4 minutes. The Joe Pag Show will start in 3 minutes. The Joe Pag Show will start in 2 minutes.
What's happening, people? Let's go. Hour number 2 on the way.
The Joe Pag Show will start in 1 minute.
Joe Pags Show. To talk to Joe, call 888-941-PAGS. And now, it's Joe Pags.
Great radio stations across the land, also on streams, also on your podcast, also wherever you happen to be picking us up, also at joepags.com. It is the Joe Pags Show. Glad to have you here. Sam is off. CJ is in for her, and then Polo's here as well. I am Joe. Glad to have you along for the Joe Pags Show. Bottom of the hour is going to be Harriet Hageman. She is the only U.S. representative from the great state of Wyoming. That's it. The population of Wyoming is such. You only need one. So she's the at-large representative from Wyoming, and she's also on the anti-woke committee. She's also in the Judiciary Committee. So we talk a lot about a lot when it comes to spending. I don't want you to get bored, because I know that how easily sometimes we can be distracted, how easily we can sometimes say, well, you're not moving fast enough information-wise. Don't get bored, but I'm going to really drive home how important it is to have oversight over our money. We hear about the Oversight Committee, which is really, we're overseeing agencies, we're overseeing, prosecutions, we're overseeing so on and so forth. And we have the Oversight Committee chair on all the time, Jamie Comer. And we enjoy him coming on. He's great. But who's overseeing our money? Not the Treasury. It's not USAID. It's not the IRS. The IRS is looking after getting more of our money. They're not looking after or overseeing our money. Again, I don't want you to get tired of me saying it. Hopefully you trust me enough to know that I'm doing this on purpose, because it's important that we never forget how we have been fleeced by the central government. Always remember that the founding fathers had a plan. The plan was rather simple. It was small but necessary central government, and back then it was New York originally, and then they moved it to Washington, D.C. Small but necessary. There was no income tax. They did it with tariffs on goods. They afforded it that way. Should be small but necessary. Everything else that we don't cover in the Constitution, in the first 9 amendments, goes back to the states. It's a system called federalism. Federalism sounds like the federal government gets the power. That's not what it is. It's the exact opposite. Federalism is the states have the power. Originally, you had the 9 amendments. You had the Bill of Rights, the first 10. The first 9 said what the central government couldn't do to the people of the United States. Showed restrictions, shall not be infringed, shall make no law that refers to. All that stuff was in there. But the amendment process was that if you wanted to change the Constitution, you would amend it. So now we've got 27. But the 10th Amendment clearly says everything we didn't cover here in the first 9 goes back to the states. Then you added amendments after that. The 14th is the one that mostly is what people look at when they say, well, hold on a second. Do we really still have federalism? Do the states still really have the power? Because the 14th Amendment seems to be equal justice under the law. In other words, when Hawaii said gay marriage was allowed, there were suits, and Texas said it wasn't allowed. There were suits, and the liberal justices back then said, well, gay marriage is allowed because one state says it's allowed through equal justice under the law or equal coverage under the law. You have to now allow it everywhere. Now, of course, there's no gay marriage in the Constitution. There's no abortion in the Constitution. There's no Department of Education in the Constitution. There's no USAID in the Constitution. None of that is in there. Yet they pretend that it's all covered because, well, the 14th Amendment says you've got to give due process and equal coverage under the law. Well, what if the law is a bad one? That's where the rub is. So again, the state should be getting most everything. The idea that a USAID can exist and we can't ask where the money's going is ridiculous. And that was actually created by a move by then President John F. Kennedy, just like the Department of Education was made by a move by then President Jimmy Carter. It's not something in the Constitution. So it should not be something that we aren't allowed to look into. We aren't allowed to delete and get rid of if we want to. Same thing with the FISA court. The FISA court is not in there. It's not. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act court is not in the Constitution. So this president, if he chose to, should be able to get rid of it. And if you want a FISA court, do it legislatively. Then we can have the argument. But I'm not going to stop beating this drum because, again, I believe Sam looked it up last week, and there are 2,000 agencies in the government. We've only looked into one, USAID, and it really, 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 really does. It really does show just a small preview of what might be uncovered. 38 to 40 billion in just USAID. 10,000 employees that Marco Rubio just whittled down to 294 the other day. From 10,000 to 294. There's no reason why anybody should be crying and screaming and going nuts over just some oversight. And keep in mind, Elon Musk can't cut anything. He can uncover what's going on with the spending. Then he can recommend to the president and the administration, I'd like to see this, and this go away. That's what he can do. And the idea that he somehow is doing something other than that is crazy. He's not. He's without a doubt not saying, I'm going to cut something. I'm going to eliminate an entire agency. Musk doesn't have that ability. Pretending like he does is just stupid. And that's what the left is trying to do. They're trying to pretend like Elon Musk has that ability, and he doesn't. And they're saying he's an unelected this, that, and the other. He's an oligarch. What are you talking about? Most of the government is not elected. Most of the government is appointed. Most of the government are answerable to the people that we elect. Elon Musk is answerable to Donald Trump. And it's not like he ran and didn't tell anybody that he was going to bring Elon Musk on. The entire last 6 months or 3 months or 4 months of his campaign, Donald Trump said, we're going to do DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. We're going to have Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy on it. Vivek, I think, is focusing on the Ohio governor's race. I think so. He hasn't told me that yet, but that's what I think is going on. Musk is in there as he was going to be. We knew the candidates for positions in the cabinet. They were out there. They were campaigning with Trump. So the idea that the left is somehow stunned and afraid and scared and blah, blah, blah about anything that's going on is BS. Were they not paying attention? Did they really think Kamala Harris was going to win? They couldn't have thought that, right? Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? So I'm going to give you a few more sound bites. Bret Baier sits down with President Trump, asks him about some of the things that are going on with DOGE and money and what can you do and what can't you do. And it's all just common sense. It's not like he ran on one thing, got into office and started looking into the spending. Now, he said we're going to figure out how efficient we are or non-efficient or inefficient. We're going to fix it.
I would say this. We have to come together. But to come together, there's only one thing that's going to do it, and that's massive success. Success will bring the country together.
100%. How do you bring the country together? Success. If there's upheaval on a sports team, the way that you fix that and make people feel better about that team is you start winning. You do something that starts winning. So he's right. Success is what's going to make it happen.
A lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the presidency.
It's definitely been the fastest and the most stuff
Well,
happening.
we've done so much so fast, and we really had to, because they have really, what they've done to our country is so sad. It's so sad. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before.
I mean, who's against that? I don't want America to be bigger, better, stronger than we were before. I don't want America to come together and succeed. Who's against that? The left is. They're literally out there on microphones protesting today to not get rid of some other agency. It's also stupid.
You said the tariff is a beautiful word. There are some signs in the markets, consumer confidence, that they're a little jittery. So if all goes to plan, when do you think families will be able to feel prices going down, groceries, energy, or are you kind of saying to them, hang on, inflation may get worse until it gets better?
No, I think we're going to become a rich... Look, we're not that rich right now. We owe $36 trillion. That's because we let all these nations take advantage of us. Same thing, like $200 billion with Canada. We owe $300. We have a deficit with Mexico of $350 billion. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let that happen.
Doesn't make any sense. How do we have a budget deficit or a trade deficit with Mexico $350 billion. Are we stupid? How stupid have the leaders been that allowed that to happen? That just doesn't make any sense. That's legitimately stupid. Then there's this.
Early Saturday, a judge agreed with them to restrict Elon Musk and his government efficiency team, DOGE, from accessing Treasury Department payment and data systems. They said there was a risk of irreparable harm. What do you make of that? And does that slow you down on what you want to do?
No, I disagree with it 100%. I think it's crazy. And we have to solve the efficiency problem. We have to solve the fraud, waste, abuse, all the things that have gone in the government. You take a look at the USAID, the kind of fraud in there,
and you found
the money's going.
things.
Well, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of money that's going to places where it shouldn't be going, where if I read a list, you'd say this is ridiculous, and you've read the same lists, and there are many that you haven't even seen. It's crazy. It's a big scam. Now, there's some good money, and we can do that through any one of a number. I think I'd rather give it to Marco Rubio over at the State Department. Let him take care of the few good ones. So I don't know if it's kickbacks or what's going on, but the people, look, I ran on this, and the people want me to find it. And I've had a great help with Elon Musk, who's been terrific.
Bottom line, you say you trust him.
Trust Elon? Oh, he's not gaining anything. In fact, I wonder how he can devote the time to it. He's so into it. But I told him do that. Then I'm going to tell him very soon, like maybe in 24 hours, to go check the Department of Education. He's going to find the same thing. Then I'm going to go to the military. Let's check the military. We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. But I campaigned on this, Brad.
What's wrong with that? Can somebody tell me what's wrong with finding out why the money's flying out the window and people aren't getting what they thought they were getting for their cash? Again, try not to pay your taxes once. Watch how fast they come to take your stuff and take your money. But once they have the money, we can't say, okay, all right, you got my money. What are you doing with it? We can't ask them that? Maybe you must be high. I need someone to be crack tested if you're against this. And again, you'll notice, as a caller said last hour, there are those on the left complaining about this, but they're not saying that the money that they're uncovering is incorrect, or the data they're uncovering to where the money's going is incorrect. No, they're just saying, shut up and let us spend it. They're not even arguing that the money should go to Sesame Street. You guys think I'm making it up. $20 million of your money and mine going to pay for Sesame Street in Iraq. I mean, let that sink in. $1.5 million for some DEI comic book in Serbia or somewhere. I mean, what do we do? What are we doing? Hello? I'm trying to figure. Is this on? What are we doing? Because if I see money flying out of my bank account that my family needs to use or to enjoy, and it's just flying out, and I go to the bank and I say, why is this money going to things that I never said okay to? The bank's going to say, shut up, don't ask. No. Bank's going to say it's going here, 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 and here. We'll stop if you don't want us to. Well, of course I don't want you to. Stop it. Let me find a different bank. Or maybe, work to get that bank closed down. Department of Education is teetering, and it probably should go. We talk at length with Harriet Hegeman about that at the bottom of the hour. Do not miss that. I want your thoughts about DOGE. I want your thoughts about Elon Musk seeing it. I want your thoughts about a judge saying the Treasury Secretary, who's been duly appointed and confirmed, is not allowed to see the data at the Department of Treasury. You got to be kidding me, right? 833-JOE-PAGS, 833-563-7247, or joepags.com. Scroll down, click on Contact. Keep in mind, My Patriot Supply is getting it done for you, for me, for our families. They have been since, I believe it's 2008. A lot of people are self-reliant now. A lot of people are not waiting for somebody at government or somebody in the neighborhood to hook them up. They're getting it done themselves for their family and for them. It's not your typical survival food. We're talking about a mega 3-month emergency food kit where you can save a ton of money right now. I'll tell you how in a second. You're talking about each kit providing over 2,500 calories a day for 90 days with delicious meals and extras, including chicken, beef, fruits, and veggies. We're talking about quality meals that last up to 25 years in storage and still taste like home cooked. The pandemic taught us a lot. Get self-reliant now when we don't have something like that happening. You never know an emergency might show up. You never know. Natural could be man-made. Emergencies happen. Get your mega emergency food kit, including free shipping, a disaster replacement warranty too, at 24/7 USA-based support. Go to preparewithjoe.com. Preparewithjoe.com. Get your kit and save $250 right now. If you order by 3 p.m., it ships out the same day. Preparewithjoe.com, and we're back after this. Stay here.
Joe Pags.
Clear.
Got to put a mouse back on the computer. I have to lean over to get you back on.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. My computer just like shut down, and then I had to turn it back on.
Time for an upgrade.
Don't tell me that. I wouldn't doubt it. It had to do with the fact that I had unplugged some stuff and then plugged it back in. And since I'm using a docking station, the computer freaked out. Because the docking station can't give it as much power, so I have to plug in the regular power source. And I don't know, maybe the computer was reading that source instead of the correct one, and that's what I don't know.
Gotcha.
It doesn't make any sense because I keep looking down here, and like sometimes I'll see my little power battery icon like disappear, and then it'll come back. So I'm not sure what's going on.
Great to have you. Thanks. It'll be Harriet Hageman, U.S. Representative, great state of Wyoming, at the bottom of the hour. Don't miss any part of that. Great conversation with the representative. She really does break it all down. And again, we'll continue with the lunacy of complaining about the American people just wanting to know where their money's going. And I'm going to keep on harping on this until people wake up and realize, even though I lean left even though I'm a liberal or a Democrat, you might be saying, I still want to know where my money's going. This isn't about Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, none of that. This isn't about who you voted for. This is about you taking my money, and for some reason, I'm not allowed to know where it goes. And every side should get together and say, okay, we're galvanized on this one. We all agree on this one. That'd be kind of dumb to argue about it. So I want to hear from you. 833-JOE-PAGS, 833-563-7247, joepags.com. Let me go to Linda, who's in Oklahoma. Linda, what's going on? Hi.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm living the dream.
On your side.
Well, good.
Yeah, me too.
You're on my side.
Yes, I'm grateful the country's going the direction Donald Trump was elected to do, and I have an idea that's a little silly, but might get some message across.
Go ahead.
Okay, do a voiceover. Take someone one of the Democrats that's out saying they are against taking the funds away from USAID, and do a voiceover when they say, we need USAID or USAID, and I'm for, and then substitute a voiceover that says opera or comic book or just something from that stupid list, and see if that gets any attention from the people that are against Trump.
Not a bad idea. That's actually a pretty good idea. Any idea who should do the voiceover?
Well, it'd have to be a woman that has a good voice, or you for the other, for the male. Hey, I think it'd be funny if you did the male voice.
I think it's a very good idea. I really do. Linda, Linda, we'll let you go. I appreciate you. Thank you for calling in. It's a good idea. When Dan Goldman comes out and says, I'm for USAID because, and then I'll just put in, because I'm for Sesame Street in Iraq. Could be something like that. Maybe something like that. I'm pointing to, for those listening, I was pointing to my own face when I said who should do the voiceover. And for some reason, she said woman. And then she said, or you. So pretty quick, Linda. Way to go. I love this story. This is one of those stories I just love. Girl love. Trump says he's directed U.S. Treasury to stop minting new pennies, citing rising costs. This is from Jill Colvin at the Associated Press. Out of Washington, President Donald Trump says he's directed the Treasury Department to stop minting new pennies, citing the rising cost of producing the 1-cent coin. Quote, for far too long, the United States has minted pennies which literally cost us more than 2 cents. That's so wasteful. Trump wrote in a post Sunday night on his Truth Social site, I've instructed my Secretary of U.S. Treasury to stop producing new pennies. The move by Trump is the latest in what has been a rapid-fire effort by his new administration to enact sweeping change through executive order and proclamation on issues ranging from immigration to gender and diversity to the name of the Gulf of Mexico. No, dummy. No, this is the latest move in him trying to make the government more efficient. This is the latest move to protect our money. These reporters are so lame. Trump has not discussed his desire to eliminate the penny during his campaign, but Elon Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency raised the prospect. Get on board, brother. Get on board, because right now you're not making any sense. 833-JOE-PAGS, joepags.com. Harriet Hageman when we come back. Stay here.
Don't be an A-dub. Stay with the Joe Pags Show.
Clear.
What's happening, people? YouTube, I appreciate you stopping by. No support at all today, although you support by watching, I guess. But I can't monetize on YouTube, so I'll let you go. If you want to watch that interview, go to joepags.com and click on Watch Now. Y'all have a great day.